What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here with Backstage Choreo Live. I'm excited to be here today. It's the beginning of the year, and what a great start to the first real full week of the year. I always think it's interesting because the first week is kind of a half week, and it's not really a first week because everybody's kind of still on vacation and still trying to get out of holiday mode. But this week is the kind of first real week. And hopefully you've created some cool systems that you are going to be operating on and creating some discipline and some consistency on this year. We've talked about it a lot. Last year, we talked about it a bunch towards the end of the year. And as you know, I love to talk about systems, business systems, personal systems, all sorts of systems. We have a lot of frameworks that we use and that we talk about, like the E7S framework, which is the essential 7 systems. We talk about the Alpha Systems framework, which is the framework for creating a well-formed system. Again, we talk a lot about systems. Why? Because I love systems. I love what they can do for you, and I love how they can make such a profound difference in your world and in your life and in your business, all the way around the block. If you don't know who I am, I'm Michael Johnson. I'm the owner of Business Choreography, and I help founder-led businesses turn insight, your EEI, right, into clear executable systems by diagnosing where things break down and mapping what actually needs to exist in the business. And I do that all the time. It's something I love to do. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something that I've found is a superpower for me. So if any of that sounds interesting, look me up. There's lots of ways to do it. Anyway, but what we're going to talk about today, as you can see in the name of this Backstage Choreo Live, is beautiful mistakes. I thought this was a great topic and a great subject to start the year off with, because I think that there's some interesting things happening in the world right now. One of them being AI. Who hasn't experienced AI? Have you experienced AI? You probably have. You should be using AI at this point. I'm not going to be one of the naysayers. I think it's a little bit jumping the gun. I definitely think there are some things to be concerned about and that should be on our radar, some red flags out there. But I'm also not part of the clan that is saying you're going to be replaced by AI. And I think there are some occasions where that's true. Horses were replaced by cars, and there were a lot of people that were afraid about that. A lot of people love their horses and love getting around on horse and cart. And a lot of people lost their jobs because you didn't need a carriage driver anymore. You didn't need a wagon wheel repair person anymore. There were a lot of things that changed when we moved from horse and cart to cars. And that's just how it is. I think that's kind of where we're at right now in the world of AI. And I thought that a great way to start this year, rather than digging head first blindly into building some more systems and building those with you, was to maybe start with this, because I think it's foundational in what I believe and what I think is the unspoken, curiosity. People are afraid of AI. You may be afraid of AI. I am afraid of AI. If you're not afraid of AI, you probably should be, right? I mean, that's just how it is. But being afraid of it doesn't mean you shouldn't use it. And being afraid of it doesn't mean that you shouldn't get educated and learn about it and understand how it can help us, how it can hurt us, and what we can do with it in the days to come. So what I'd like to talk to you about is some of my history with innovation. And it comes, of course, from my background as a professional ballroom dancer. I spent a lot of years in that world and in that progression through my life. We considered ourselves professional athletes. And I think if you know anything about dance, and if you've even experienced anything, especially about ballroom dance, they are athletes through and through. And they push themselves to the absolute brink and to the absolute limits of what your body can do. Dancers are 100% athletes. They just also express that athleticism in the form of an art. And I think that's important to realize as well. Now, an interesting thing is I spent a lot of time doing choreography. And that's why it's called Backstage Choreo, right? With choreography. That's why the business is called Business Choreography. It's because I spent a lot of time doing choreography. Not everybody loved choreography. There were the dancers that loved the doing of it more than they loved the creating of it. And in all scenarios and in all cases, dancers needed choreographers. They needed people to put together choreography for them so that they could take it and insert their special sauce. And that's why I say very, very strongly, you won't be replaced by AI unless you give up what makes you special. And that's my message to you today as we begin this year, as we begin down this path where AI is advancing at a rate so rapid you've never experienced that type of technological advance before. In fact, no human has. We are advancing so quickly with the state of AI and the things that are developing in technology that it's just going to be ridiculously hard to keep up with it unless you were studying it every day and that was your thing, and most of us are not. So what I have to say is that what I've learned from athletes and dancers and artists, whether it's for business, whether it's champions in sports, champions in business, doesn't make a difference. What I've learned is that AI actually has a major, massive flaw. And I don't know if you've recognized it. You might have felt it. You might have felt it in your heart and your soul, but AI has a massive, massive flaw. And the interesting part is they are leaning into it. All of those companies, all of those people that are developing AI right now in the world, they are leaning in hard to the massive flaw that it has. Do you know what it is? It's that it's too perfect. And the funny thing is it's perfect by design, and it's expected to be perfect. How many times have you seen that little message that says AI can be wrong? Make sure you do your research, right? That's their default disclaimer. Now, the reason it can be wrong isn't because it actually can't go and find all the facts. It's because it puts together the facts and it works to be as perfect as absolutely possible. And in its perfection, it creates this really weird, awkward, not accurate imperfection. And it doesn't fix it because it believes it's right. It believes it's perfect. It believes it's delivered you the perfect response. And as a human, we have started to recognize this. We've started to see things. We've started to be able to look at AI. In fact, my kids can look at social media now and they're like, oh, that's AI. Oh, this is AI. My kids have developed and grown up in the age of AI. And as they have done that, they have started to spot AI faster. And they have this little game they play with my wife. They go, let's see if she can spot the AI. And it's harder for our generation to spot the AI because we kind of want to believe it, right? Their generation, they're like, we kind of don't want to believe anything. And so they're looking at it and they're going, oh, that's AI, that's AI. They're even counting things as AI that aren't AI. And that's the interesting part, right? But I want to dig into this because as I taught and choreographed so many things, I've choreographed so many things, whether it's a business funnel or whether it's a business as a whole, whether it's an attraction system or a nurture system or a referral system, whether it's a Viennese waltz or a cha-cha or a paso doble, right? You might be familiar with those things from Dancing with the Stars or wherever you've seen ballroom dance. And it doesn't matter what it was that I was choreographing, there is this thing that happens. And it happens in every case, but especially in dance. There's a special thing that happens during that choreographic process. And I think that AI has a long time before it's going to be able to replicate that. I was watching some of the updates on AI, and they're saying, hey, AGI, artificial general intelligence, meaning they are an alive, AI is an alive entity, right? They have yet to prove that they have made that, or that they're able to make that, or that we're even close. And there are many people that are really great at that and study all that say it's not happening this year. Maybe in 2 years, maybe in 5, maybe in 10, but not this year. And until that point comes, then we can have a slightly different conversation. But right now, this beautiful thing that happens during the choreographic process is what I call beautiful mistakes. That's what we started off with. That's what this is labeled, beautiful mistakes. Why do I call it that? Because there's this really cool things that happens while you're choreographing. And I think it goes into composing music. I think it goes into painting. I think it goes into architecture. I think it goes into creating businesses and doing business. There are these beautiful mistakes. Sometimes they don't seem so beautiful. But without a doubt, in every piece that I've ever choreographed, in dance and business, we've made these beautiful mistakes. And what happens, that sounds like a bad thing, right? But what happens is it's far from a bad thing. In fact, it's quite the opposite. These beautiful mistakes have always turned into what others end up calling creative genius or choreographic mastery. And I've heard that over and over again. But what happens? The dancer falls down. Client does a step in the funnel that wasn't mapped out or prescribed, and it just is like, oh, that just seemed like the right thing to do, or oh gosh, that's a mistake, what's happening? Or you send an email, heaven forbid, you accidentally hit send before you have edited it, and it says things that are not correct because that was a different draft than you meant to. And then all of a sudden, you have to make up for it. You have to figure it out. It was this beautiful mistake that happened in the dance that created the coolest move or the coolest sequence of figures or steps. This one championship couple I worked with, we were doing choreography. We were trying to come up with a cool special trick. And we did this thing, and I mean, she biffed it hard. She fell hard, so hard that the room stopped and was like, are you okay? Her partner stopped and was like, are you okay? I rushed over because it was like, oh my gosh, this can't be good. And that beautiful mistake that happened, it was like something beautiful was born out of it. Because after we found out and we all got over the fact that everybody was okay, that there was nothing wrong, that nothing was broken. I can't say no blood because I'm not sure that there wasn't. But in that moment, we had vision of something that had never been done before. And we proceeded to create this trick that was what at first we thought was impossible. We thought, there's no way that trick is a possibility. But there was a little piece of us, there was a little part of us that after seeing that beautiful mistake, after looking at it, that mistake happen, because we had the video rolling, we had a recording of it. And after looking at that beautiful mistake, we were like, but maybe if we just tweaked it this way. Now, did I come up with it? No. Did I have a thing that we were headed towards? Yes. Was it the perfect thing? No. Did it turn into this thing that fell apart and fell to pieces and everybody was concerned? Yes. And from that beautiful mistake, we were able to take it and iterate on it. We were able to take that and turn it into something. Now, I have to tell you, it took that couple, it probably took them the better part of 2 or 3 months of practicing that. And in that first 2 months, it seemed like it wasn't plausible And I remember asking them in one of their coachings with me, should we just give it up? Should we just put something else here and walk away? Put something else that's doable, that's attainable. And they were like, no, we almost have it. And they did. After 3 months, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, they figured it out. And somehow they made it come to life. And somehow we had created something that no one had ever done before. No one had ever seen before. And it had so much of their secret sauce, their EEI, their experience, their expertise, their insight. It had so much of that in it that it created this beautiful mistake. The AI can't do that. It's too perfect. It's so perfect that it flies off the rails when you have it try to create plans for you. You know, if you've experienced this, if you've done it, you get it to create this plan, or what steps should I take? And it gives it to you and it's like perfect. And you're like, yes. And you read it through the first time, but then you go to start executing on it and you're like, something's wrong. Something's wrong with it. It's just not quite right. And as you look at it, you're like, well, I gotta adjust that because there's no way it would know that. And I gotta do this different because, well, it couldn't possibly do that. And by the time it's all done, you had to just do the steps and create it yourself anyway. Or you don't, and then you get this generic, yucky tin can version of what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And not because it's wrong, but because it's too perfect. Because it's got it exactly by the book. It's planned out to perfection. And that's too good. It's too good for what we need as humans with heart and soul. And that's what these beautiful mistakes create, right? It's creating something that a living, breathing human can turn into something, a work of art that could fascinate the world, whether it's a painting or whether it's music or whether it's a dance trick or a figure or routine or whatever it is. These things can only be created through the beautiful mistakes. And AI can't do that yet. In fact, in AI's effort to create these beautiful works of art and pictures and whatnot, there's still something wrong with them. They're amazing. And at first, once you get past the amazing part of it, which is, wow, that's amazing. The computer did that. The computer brain did that. That's pretty amazing that it could do something that's that good. But then you look at it and you're like, but it's empty. It's missing something. It's missing the heart. It's missing the soul. It's missing the mistakes. It's missing the ability to be imperfect. Because how do you train it to be imperfect and then iterate on imperfection to come up with something new that hasn't been done before? That is what they're all striving for. That's what the AGI side of it is doing. That's what they're all hoping to race towards. That's what we're all afraid of, is that it reaches that. We're afraid that it'll come up with its own idea about what this perfection should be. We're afraid that it would hold us to that perfection standard, and humans can't do that. That's scary, isn't it? That's really scary. What if the AI held us to its perfection capabilities? Well, then it'd have to get rid of us. And that's scary, right? But for right now, these beautiful mistakes, they create innovation. They create the heart. They create the soul that is in what we create, what we choreograph, what we design, what we architect, what we compose. And I know that AI is getting really good. Really too good for its own good. And that's kind of interesting. But here's what I know. I know that you have your own personal EEI, your experience, your expertise, your insight. I know you have that. And I know you have the ability to make mistakes. Thank goodness. I know I do too. And I know that in my career of creating some of the coolest choreography, some of the coolest steps or figures, I created things when I was 14, 15 with some of my mentors that lasted and still you can see today in the world of dance. People don't know I created it. We created it in a hallway, me and one of my mentors. And you know how we did it? We started messing around. We started making mistakes. We started doing things that you shouldn't do because they weren't right. And then we created things off of them. And then next thing you know, we did it. People thought it was cool. And then they iterated on it and they copied it. And I can still see things today that people don't even know that I created with my mentor's help. Together we created. I can't say I did it. We did it. And those things still exist today. And some cool, freaking cool iterations of those things. How fun is that? I can say the same thing about business. And there are so many of my business mentors that have created things and then I've taken and iterated on it and made mistakes with it and turned it into something else because of that. And how cool is that? Right? We do this. This is what's so cool about us as humans. It's also pretty cool that we can use AI to go faster and get to the mistakes faster. So I don't want to sit here and say, don't use AI, because that's stupid. Don't go that far. Don't get crazy, right? It's like saying, don't use fire. I don't care if it cooks your food faster, right? Don't use a car. I don't care. Drive a horse and buggy because I'm committed to it. Whatever. Use AI. Understand that it sucks at making beautiful mistakes. And I have to clarify that it is about beautiful mistakes. It's not just about AI makes mistakes. Well, Michael, you remember it's had a disclaimer, said that AI does make mistakes. Yeah, it makes mistakes because it actually took things too literal. Gave you things that you asked for. Be careful what you ask for, right? So the reason I tell you that is because I love choreography. And so many times I think people forget that when you come to me and you ask me for some choreography for your business, the goal is to choreograph it with you. The goal is to undo some of the chaos that you have. The goal is to take some of the insight and experience and expertise and shape it into something that is beautiful. And some of the things you might have done might have been a mistake. And the goal is to make them a beautiful mistake. The goal is to take the choreography and turn it into the Empire State Building, right? Because choreography is a lot like a blueprint that you would get to build the Empire State Building. But you got to have the blueprint first. You don't just start building the Empire State Building. And the funny part about it is that for so many of you out there that have started a business or running a business, that's what you did. I get it. I've bootstrapped a lot of businesses, right? But I also know that because of that experience of bootstrapping a business, multiple, that sometimes you just go. You forget to make a plan. And there was a whole period of time where you know, if you were going to start a business, you had to write a business plan. And that was the cool corporate thing to say and do. And then everybody rebelled against it, all the rebels, right? We don't need a business plan. We're going to bootstrap. And that's kind of where the term came from. We just pull it up by our bootstraps, right? And just go. Just get to work, right? And next thing you know, all these businesses had a whole bunch of like, what the heck is that? Did you even stop to plan anything? And the answer was no. We were told that we could just do it without a plan. We didn't need a plan. And everybody rebelled against creating corporate plans. I don't need a corporate plan. I'm not going to be corporate. That's not me. But then they didn't make any plan. They didn't make any strategy. They didn't make any idea of what it was they were going to do to move forward and what things they were going to build and what choreography was the right choreography for what it was they were doing and how they were proceeding. And so what I would encourage you today to think about is it time? Is it time to take a look at your choreography, the stuff you've built, and say, hey, it's time to figure out, you know, I've known there's some stuff wrong in here. I know there's some stuff that has gone astray. I don't know. Ask yourself, let me know, and we'll go from there. But for now, keep making those beautiful mistakes, because they will turn into some incredible things. And when you have a choreographer on hand, they can help you create some of the coolest, beautiful mistakes. Anyway, I figured this was a great way to start off the year and all of the cool Backstage Choreo lives to come. And I hope that you guys are starting the year off solid and strong. So let's get to work. Let's build some systems. Let's choreograph some systems that'll help bring our special sauce to the world, to the people that need you. And let's get it moving. We got millions of people to help out there in the world. Happy New Year. And I'll see you next time on Backstage Choreography. Till then, keep choreographing your business. We'll see you soon. Take care.